for you?
What do you usually hear?
A lot of them just need somebody to listen to them.
So you sold like how many?
403.
Like food, shelter, water, if you don't have those things, how can you think about like somebody other than yourself?
What about people with children?
Your driver's license is suspended.
What?
People that are out here on the streets don't want to be out here on the streets.
I walked up to him like this. I was gonna knock that head off.
Share with me what your day is like.
It's rough.
I'm not real violent, but I've been in 20 years. If you have a plan, okay, I'm gonna get a job, I'm gonna get a good place, you'll get off the streets. You'll beat the streets. Don't let the streets beat you.
When I had that stroke, I misplaced things.
I need a transplant. I have end-stage liver disease.
And it's hard to get up out of that, and then you've got so many things going against you.
The main thing we learned that is it's just a lot that goes into being homeless.
Give people a chance.
Yeah. 6 a.m. in the morning, and we're headed to the day shelter. I didn't bring my wallet, so I don't have an ID, so I want to try and apply for jobs and stuff and see, how far we get without that stuff.
And then we have advocates here at the day shelter who you can meet with.
We think that having shelter is the first step in order to, find, maybe if that's employment. It's hard to tell somebody, hey, you should go and go get income and get all these things whenever you don't have a roof over your head.
I'm wiping the tables, I gotta clean the floor, and something else, I can't remember, but I do all that, and we get our bus pass.
So he's gonna do all of that, and that's gonna be for one day bus pass, so that he can try to get around and get some things done today, in order, so that he can further himself and try to get connected to some services and find shelter, find food, find maybe some sort of income.
This guy is 72 years old. Goes hard all day. We've been here together for like 6 years. So I come in, and my focus is lunch, Johnny's focus is breakfast, and together we partnership and make it work. I prepare enough lunch for 300 people. Also make sack lunches for guys we think may be going to work. A lot of people just live in this environment, and a lot of people live in tent communities, abandoned buildings, and they all migrate here. Our doors open at 6 and they're closed at 4. And some of these people are here all day long, so this is all they know. You see a lot of mental illness up close and personal. They may strike up with a conversation about they don't know what or you don't know what. A lot of them just need somebody to listen to them.
Yeah, he sells a Curbside Chronicle. So you sold like how many?
403.
Dang.
403. I sell in Bricktown at Starbucks. All the magazines you sell is your money. You keep the money. You don't owe Curbside anything. Talking about housing the homeless instead of putting them in jail. It's a real great magazine.
The needs vary, It's just like each one of these offices serve a purpose, and they have different needs for whatever, their purpose is.
What can I do for you?
I didn't bring my ID.
Do you have any idea where you're gonna sleep tonight?
No.
Okay.
Wherever Lamar sleeps at, probably.
Okay, so for
what's a common place?
a lot around here. Some people sleep downtown, like on benches and.
Let's say 16th to McKinley.
Okay, sounds good. Well, a lot of people don't sleep around there because cops patrol that area pretty well because of the plaza.
So they encounter the cops, and what does the cops do?
Well, depends on where you're at. Like some cops, they'll tell you just to move along.
Well, that's like I don't understand. Move along. You understand? Like it's not. Where you gonna go?
Like I said, depends on where you're at. Food, shelter, water. If you don't have those things, how can you think about like somebody other than yourself right now?
Wow, yeah.
So housing first. If you get shelter, you have a place you can get clean water, take a shower, you have a place to call your own. Then I can think about like, okay, what's the next step? But like to expect somebody that's was sleeping in the tent in maybe a junkyard, and then someone saw the tent, call the cops, and has to leave. How do you expect him to say, yeah, you should go get a job, like, because he's not gonna be thinking about that. He's gonna be thinking like, where am I gonna sleep tonight?
Yeah.
Like housing first is what the model like that we pertain to, is because like we think like housing is a basic human right and a basic human need, and so housing first is to us like a evidence-based model and an answer to a lot of these things.
Upward transitions is where we're going. And I don't have an ID, so you get a referral from City Care. Bring that referral here, and they'll give you a voucher. You take that voucher to the downtown tag agency, and they will give you a state ID. So we can't really do anything. We can't get into a shelter to sleep tonight. We can't apply for any jobs until we have a state ID. So that's what we're doing right now. I'm not sure if it's open, but we'll see. It's middle of the day, so hopefully they're open.
They're closed right now, but they do help with IDs, people that are having problems paying their utilities. But mostly, a lot of guys coming out of prison and stuff, they don't have an ID.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to get a birth certificate before you can get an ID. But they can help you do all of that right there. I lost my debit card, and she's gonna help me order another one. When I had that stroke, I misplaced things, forget things, and I'm still not fully recovered.
And it's such a catch-22 sometimes because you need the ID to get the birth certificate. You need the birth certificate to get the ID.
Because it's a once-in-a-lifetime thing unless you have a police report.
And that's what's the crazy thing is like you can come one time, right? Like this year alone, I probably lost my driver's license like 3 or 4 times.
And for them, it could get stolen 3 or 4 times.
Right, exactly. That's, man.
This is basically what the Department of Public Safety requires for someone who has never had, an ID before. So up here you have the birth certificate. For a secondary ID, so you have to have one of each. So these are all the secondary IDs. And then with Social Security, they don't process those by mail anymore. So you have to go to the Social Security card to order it. There's one on 122nd in Kelly, and the other one is in Moore.
Wow.
Yeah. So I usually tell my people, try to catch this 756 one. That way you can get to the Social Security office, and if you can't catch this 9 o'clock bus back, then maybe catch this 12:30 one. But sometimes people get stuck out there. For the Social Security card, you can only go there to order it, and those actually take 2 weeks to come in. So then if you're waiting 4 weeks for your birth certificate, and then if you just so happen to be able to order your Social Security card, it might be another 2 weeks on that.
No matter what, there's like, you're never finished. It's never over, you're never done. One of the main things she was saying is like identification. You can't get an ID without a birth certificate. You can't get a birth certificate without an ID, so on and so forth. What do you do? I think about them beans right now. Intimidating to have to walk in this building, yo. Look at this. This is the only place you can go and do this.
The high-end shopping.
If it were me, I wouldn't go.
You're actually gonna have to make one more trip. You're not in the system anymore.
That's what I gotta do.
So what you have to do is you'll take this with you so you can bring it back here. You're gonna need to go to I-240 in Shields. This is the closest exam station to Oklahoma City. You'll take a birth certificate, or passport, a second form of identification, be Social Security card, work ID, student ID. They're pretty laid back on second form, but you have to have a birth certificate.
Well, can we do a driver's license?
Yeah.
With this voucher work for a driver's license?
It covers $25. So if it's a duplicate, it'll cover it. If it's not a duplicate, it only covers $25, and then you'd have to pay the remainder.
How will I know?
Oh,
okay, I learned that it's been 2 years since I've had a state ID, and because of that, I'm not in the system anymore. They can't just run my fingerprint. have to go all the way out to I-240 and Shields, right? And to the DPS with another form of ID, which I don't have, now I think about it.
Birth certificate.
Birth certificate. Which costs money. Even so, if we go out there, we're SOL because I don't have another form of ID.
Fill this out. Okay, so old address here, new one here, sign and date. Says your driver's license is suspended.
What? I'm glad I ain't been pulled over. Wow.
So call those numbers and they'll be able to tell you what's going on with it. Yes, you just bring that back whenever you get situated, and it's good for 30 days.
I'm gonna sure use it.
Curbside is something that gives the homeless jobs and subsidizes the pay and pays for our housing, basically. I think they go above and beyond for curbside out here in the city of Oklahoma City. Well, they're, misinformed. People that are out here on the streets don't want to be out here on the streets. It's because of mental illness, drug addiction, or just a broken home and various types of things. But, give people a chance.
The breakfast menu is in place. The lunch menu has to be really creative. Depends on what we have on hand. So, I have to be really creative some days. So I had a lot of these beans right here, kidney beans, and so I threw in a little ground beef with them and add a few spices so I make it work.
My daughter loves these.
Yeah.
Chicken nuggets.
Tell me about the morning.
Man, downhill. I get to the tag agency and I found out that my license was suspended and I have a warrant out for my arrest. Like $407, and that's for real. And I had no idea. I totally forgot that I had a ticket for my tag. So now I'm trying to, when we leave here, we're gonna try to figure out how to see what we gotta do to get my my license. So it's real life, apparently.
Mostly, if you've been on the streets for a while, you kind of know where you're staying at. Quite a few people camp out, but also I know people that every other day they stay somewhere else. So like the guy last night stayed on 4th and Virginia, which is right across the street. There's a dock right here, and he just knows to be up by 5 or 6 a.m. before the people get there. Yeah. Sometimes it's just they're just staying wherever they can.
So we can't guarantee a bed over the phone. Yeah.
Okay. Do you know when you guys do the intake process?
We do the intake process Monday through Friday. Usually it starts around 9 o'clock and it ends around 4 o'clock.
4. Okay.
Okay.
And people don't have to have an ID in order to stay there, correct?
No, but they'll be required to get one.
So that going there would promise you, well, if they take you in, you'd have a mat to sleep on. Sea Rescue Mission, Grace, and Salvation Army are the only places probably that would potentially take you tonight, unless you have dual diagnosis, like I said, mental health and substance abuse. And if that's the case, this is the program, Jesus House. It's like another 9-month program.
What about Grace? You think Grace would be a good place to go?
Grace Rescue, this is Rusty. Can I help you?
Hey Rusty, what's your intake process? Do I need a ID?
You do. You need a valid photo ID. If you take any kind of medications, you need 2 weeks supply when you check in. You've got to pass the drug and alcohol, urinalysis, can't be dirty. It's got to be clean. And you cannot be a registered sex offender. OCPD won't allow you to stay here if you are.
Okay. If I came tonight, are you guys pretty full?
Well, here's the thing. We are full. Our intake procedure is that we have you call here every morning, Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. You know, it's subject to change on a daily basis. Currently, we are full. But if you call each morning, if there's availability, what we do is we'll schedule an intake for you later that day at 1, 2, or 3.
Okay.
So if you'll call back, tomorrow, and then call back Friday, just wait and see if we can get you in to do an intake.
Okay. Thank you, Rusty.
You're welcome.
Have a good day. Hello. I'm just calling to see what your intake process is. Do I need a state ID?
Yes, you have to have a current picture ID.
Okay. And what else? Are you all pretty full today?
Right now, we're doing our last intakes right now.
Okay.
You can start back tomorrow about 9 a.m.
Okay, so it's too late right now.
Uh-huh.
Okay, thank you. Share with me what your day is like.
It's hard. You've got the weather to deal with. You've got other homeless who are more of a pain than anything, because a lot of them, if you leave anything behind at camp, it might not be there when you get back. I've seen abuse between couples. One guy actually hit his girlfriend with a broom handle because she said something smart to him and he didn't like it. It's rough. It's not for someone who doesn't think they can mentally and physically handle it. But for the majority of it, it's kind of like every person for themselves.
Yeah.
If you got something I don't have and I want it, I'll take it. That's the mentality a lot of the homeless here have.
Yeah.
And it's hard to get up out of that when you've got so many things going against you. Because it's hard to get a job when you don't have a permanent address. Upward transition helps with getting an ID and stuff. But if you don't have a phone, permanent address, it's hard to get anything. A house, apartment, car, job, it's hard. And not many programs and people are willing to help to be able to do that. About 3 months ago, we did have all of our stuff taken, tent and all, and we had to rebuild from that. We might find a chair here, or we might find a backpack here that got strap distance but still functions. We'll take that, load it up with water or clothes or whatever. Being out in the rain takes that easy.
Yeah. I know nothing about the Curbside Chronicle. They keep what they make.
That's exactly right. Yeah, the way the model works is that, we do an orientation twice a week for new vendors, and I'll set them up with a uniform and 15 magazines and simple laminated signs says Curbside Chronicle magazine, $2. But that's the biggest hoop to jump through to get started making income, is to show up.
Wow.
And so they sell those 15. I hope that they'll save a few bucks out of that, and then they buy the issues at 75 cents and go out and distribute them to the public for a $2 suggested donation.
Okay. We were downtown, and we're trying to get back so we can get something to eat.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy who was downtown selling, he's like, I'm like, you going to make it back? He's like, no, I'm just staying out here and sell these and then eat off that,
Yeah.
So I just thought, I just thought that was dope.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
We've had, I think, 20 vendors who have moved into housing this year so far.
Wow, that's
and
awesome.
Just over halfway through the year. So, and we've got several more in the pipeline, both through this office and through some of the other case management programs here. That's just downtown. I'm working on a broader map of the entire city. Because Oklahoma City's pretty big. And we don't want a bunch of vendors stacked up on one spot. So that's just kind of places downtown where somebody has worked really hard in one location.
That's their territory.
And that's their turf. Yeah, that's their sales location. Rania and Whitley started this. It was required a lot of education on both fronts, like trying to get members of the community who might potentially eventually buy one of these street papers, get them to even know what a street paper is.
Yeah.
But also to approach people who are experiencing homelessness or who are panhandling by the highway, places like that, to tell them, you know, have you ever heard of a street paper? Here's what it is. Would you be interested in trying that? Because it's kind of creating a market, you know?
Yeah.
And so they put a lot of hard work into it, and the Homeless Alliance was very supportive and managed to take hold and has just significantly grown over those 4 years.
We are at the City Rescue Mission, and we learned, the main thing we learned that is if you come off the streets and or you just happen to need a place to stay for the night, or you know, anything could happen and you need help for that one night, there really isn't anywhere you can go. There's no place. We were at the last place that we thought would take you in and give you a bed for the night, but even they said that they don't do that anymore. There's just a lot that goes into being homeless. Like, being homeless is a full-time job, you know what I mean? And I just couldn't imagine, like, trying to navigate through all this and trying to figure out, you know, how to get from A to Z whenever you already don't have anything. So I don't know, man. I'm tired, and you know, and I just couldn't imagine this being my life. And
got out of the penitentiary, been in there 20 years. A buddy of mine told me that there's preachers down here that flip houses and will give us a place to stay if we help flip the houses for free. So, well, when I get down here, that's not true. You know what I mean? So I get stuck. They help me get my food stamps, stuff like that. But, you know, like you see, you live in a tent. You know what I mean? And with the weather last night, you know what I mean? Me and her, we kind of got stuck in the water and everything got wet. We have nowhere to use the bathroom, so we don't disrespect nobody. So she goes to McDonald's. Went over there, bought stuff, this and that, and we just go over there and use the bathroom. Well, she gets chewed out because she goes and uses the bathroom, and she's homeless. She's clean. She ain't caused no problem. She just went to use the bathroom. McDonald's chewed her out. Said, you're not welcome back here, her, me, or another dude, because we're homeless.
Whether we're buying anything
or not, we're not allowed back in there because we're homeless. I'm not real violent, but I've been in 20 years. I was in the Universal and Brotherhood. You know what I mean? I had to get beat out to, you know what I mean?
But if you have that mentality of the streets, you're gonna stay on the street. But if you have a plan, like, oh, okay, I'm gonna get a job, I'm gonna get a good place, you'll get off the streets. You'll beat the streets. Don't let the streets beat you.
Cause I didn't realize, I had blacked out. I walked up to him like this. I was gonna knock that his head off. Don't remember having my cane like that. I was that pissed off. He said the next time I threatened him or disrespect him, he was gonna bust my head open. I would have my already if he wouldn't have stolen the shit in the first place.
I would have been killed probably way long before now. And I haven't been homeless very long. But I still want to give as much as I can to other people that, you know, maybe aren't as fortunate as I even am and are worse off. You know, that sleep under the bridges or sleep down at the river or sleep in a park or, you know, on the side of the road and don't even have a tent to sleep in.
Yeah, there's a lot of them just pull up some concrete and lay down.
But you know, what other choice do you have? I mean...
Thanks for that day, sister. We can go up and shower every day except weekends. I mean, we're stuck on the weekends 2 days, but I'm used to showering every day.
But thanks to the day center, we can shower every day.
We
get to eat, you know what I mean, stuff like that. Get to sit there in the cool air and rest and stuff like that. So it's a pretty good deal.
In Oklahoma, there's a backlog, a really significant, apparently, backlog of waiting lists for the assisted housing program. It doesn't satisfy the need that's there at all. I mean, it's, there's a very huge shortage of that versus the amount of people that are homeless.
It's just like here, we got to pull our tents up every night. I mean, every morning. Got to be up by 7 because DOT comes by and tells us next time we catch you here, we're going to bring the police over, you're going to be arrested. There's nowhere else to go. You know what I mean? We have to go somewhere.
They come over at least twice a day, sometimes 4.
Coming and chasing people out, that's kind of cold because this is our house. I would like for some of them people to try this. You know what I mean? Get rid of all your money. Just get you a tent. Get rid of all your food. You know what I mean? Come out here for a couple of days. See how we are.
People have such a stigmatism, and I was one of those people before I became homeless. I would see people and think a certain thing, not knowing anything about what it was to be homeless. And then I became homeless. I'm terminally ill, and I fight, a life-altering illness, and I can't go get a job. I'm waiting for my Social Security, and I spend typically 2 or 3 times a week in the hospital, 2 or 3 hospital visits a week, and that's normal. Plus, I'm homeless, so it's not just as easy as I need a license. I have my license. I have all that kind of stuff, but I can't just go out and get a job. I'm too sick. And then on top of that, and a lot of other people that are homeless have health issues that they fight. And, it's not like they're here because they just refuse to work. That's not the case. I know that there are maybe homeless people, just like in any other,
situation in life.
Right. Any style of living, it doesn't really matter. There's, people who may or may not want to work. And homeless is not any different than that, but that isn't the biggest cause of most people's homelessness, is their lack of wanting to work.
That's what we're learning, I think, today, is that it's not what people think. It's definitely not. Like I told him today, I said, man, being out here is like a full-time job. You know what I'm saying? I was talking to Kevin earlier, and he was telling me what he had to do in the morning, like what you were just saying in the morning and all that. I'm like, damn, you got to do all that just to get up in the morning. That's a full-time job,
Thank goodness for the day center because it gives everybody a chance to put their stuff up and let them sit for the day, let them drink some coffee, let them,
At least I'm not addicted to what I used to be. I still have cravings. That's why I asked them for a bunch of sugar today, because I'm still going through the cravings. And the only thing I can buy from that helps it is to eat sugar.
Man, well, thank you guys for talking to us, man. I really
appreciate you.
All right, bro.
I need a transplant. I have end-stage liver disease, and I have uncontrolled epilepsy as well. I have uncontrolled grand mal seizures, and I also have von Willebrand's disease type 3, which is a type of hemophilia, and I have to get transfusions every week to keep enough blood in my body.
We're at Cross and Crown in Oklahoma City. It's down here on about 9th and McKinley, I believe. And we use this courtyard every Wednesday night to feed the homeless, share some spiritual thoughts and songs, and just try to visit with our friends and neighbors. That's what Jesus asked us to do that. So that's why we do it. This little congregation of about 60 folks prepare these meals every Wednesday night. And we also do some tutoring for some kids in our neighborhood over on 12th and Drexel. And so this is a working little congregation, but Jesus asked us to help others, and that's what we're trying to do. We've been fortunate. We've been able to help a few get some lodging at the day shelter. And so that's kind of fun to do, or find somebody some temporary housing. So if we can do that, we try. But we meet here, unless it's storming,
like last night.
We meet here spring, summer, fall, and winter. And we'll always be here.
As long as you busy in love.
It's called Believe.
You wrote that one?
Yeah. Nobody knows this, but I had to pick up 300 cans. I refused to go to the temp service. I picked up 300 cans on the east side. I walked all the way to the place where you cash them in. And with that money, I bought my first mine off from Goodwill.
Hey, that's dope. But we supposed to go to overtime.
And I'm sleeping outside.
We did.
So,
It went down
I got
overtime.
efficiency like 2 blocks away. But,
Okay.
even if I don't get any money, like how many smiles that I make, like it's worth it.
That's what's up, man. It's good to meet you, Mom Jordan.
Yep, I'm glad I finally met you, man. I'll be here in a lot
hit me up, my brother. We walked to this church, Crossing Crown, and I thought it was gonna be like inside, packed with people. It was about 30 people, small, good food, you know, a lot of food. We got seconds, bottles of water, Kool-Aid, fruit. We prayed together. We sang some hymnals together. A great way to end the night. They only do it on Wednesdays though, so tomorrow night everybody have to find somewhere else to eat dinner, you know. And I don't know, man. I grew up in Oklahoma City. I went to 9 Oklahoma City public schools. A lot of what they were saying I could definitely relate to, you know, about how you have to definitely change your mentality. You have to want to you have to want something different, and that's true, you know. You know, it was almost refreshing to see, to go in it with all the things that you hear and people say about homeless people, to go in it with all that in the back of your mind, but then to talk to them and realize, like, man, like, they know what's up, you know what I'm saying? And you know, for the most part, there are a lot of them who are trying to change the situations. They've had some rough stuff happen in their life, and some, you know, their lives have been ripped apart by, you know, different situations, but you know, they're trying. And so I can relate to stuff like that, you know what I mean? It was just dope to know that the people who are in position that I've met so far to help the people who live in these conditions are really their heart's in it, you know what I mean? So it's been really, really cool to see. Yeah.